Hi, I hope everyone's having a great day today. On this reading, I'm going to be doing some love notes from your person. This is going to be a message cards only reading, and there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the lemon calcite. Group 2 is the selenite. And group 3 is the purple fluorite. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection, and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the lemon calcite. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? Okay, and the first one we have is I could listen to your voice for days on end. So they may be replaying in their mind conversations that they had with you, a big discussion that they want to have, some kind of truth that needs to be revealed, perhaps an apology that is in order for having been elusive with you in the connection, holding their feelings back, or maybe they've been really distracted with other things in their life and haven't been able to kind of devote themselves as fully or be as present with you in the time that you spend with one another. They may have come off recently as kind of distracted, and you could have been wondering to yourself, like, are they even interested? Or is there somebody else? Are they getting ready to break up with me? Does this connection have long-term potential to it? And there's a sense of almost like they feel a lot of harmony and shelter with you and are wanting to do their part in order to make sure that you understand that they do see long-term potential between the two of you, that they want to clear up any misunderstandings, and maybe working very diligently behind the scenes to close up some things in their life that have been keeping them away from you. So this can tie into like things with work that they're trying to complete in order to have more free time, at which point they intend to spend a lot of that free time with you. This can also indicate somebody who is working on like a fear of commitment as well that might have caused them to sort of have one foot in, one foot out of the situation, but they've reached a point of resolution of kind of, you are worth fighting through their worst fears, through the worst case scenarios, because they don't want to miss out on an opportunity to build something with you long lasting. And they also say, I love your sense of humor. So it feels like your laughter is medicine for them. They love to see you smile. They find you to be very radiant when you are sitting in an empowered and joyful energy. Your joy is very contagious. You are the light in their life. They're wanting to dispel any tension between the two of you, or kind of clear up any heartbreak that may have happened. Anything where they've had to like cancel it out on plans or dates, or they've kind of left you in sort of an energy of, I don't know where I stand with this person in a long-term sense, and you might have been withdrawing your energy, kind of pulling back and then redirecting your focus to the idea of like, are there other options out there? Should I prepare for the conclusion of this connection and seek to kind of move forward on my own in another direction? And so there's a sense of they're wanting to bring you some peace of mind because they want to see you happy. They want to see you smiling again. They don't want you worried. They don't want you concerned. They don't want you consumed with kind of some degree of pessimism or anxiety that has settled over them, maybe about this connection, or like if they're ready to sort of go the distance with you in order to overcome any challenges or obstacles. in order to see this through to a long-term and stable commitment with one another, or even other things in their life that may have caused them to, kind of have a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure from other things going on that they can sense is kind of rubbed off on you, or you may be personalizing it or internalizing it. Like, did I do something wrong? Did I say something? Have they lost interest? Am I not what they're looking for? And so this is somebody that wants to bring the light back into your eyes. They want to uplift you in some sort of way, provide you with the reassurances that you matter to them, you're meaningful to them. They also say the taste of your presence is something I will never, ever be able to forget. So they're thinking back on the last close times that you spent with one another. Maybe these are like intimate times, or even just like intimate conversation within a private setting. They're wanting to get you alone and really have the opportunity to kind of just look into your eyes, speak some truth that they've been holding inside without an audience, without the need or pressure to perform, without the busyness of the world intruding upon the unique and special bond that the two of you share. They may be planning some kind of getaway or excursion as well, something that can help the two of you to kind of repair any misunderstandings, or, become closer with one another through some quality one-on-one time. Even kind of like a staycation where you're just at home with one another for a period of time, and a sense of sort of like, I want to show you my devotion. I want to let you know that even though I've got a lot going on in my life, or other things which are kind of pulling my attention in many different directions, that I miss our closeness. I miss you. I miss being next to you. I miss being around you. I miss our inside jokes. I miss the quality time that we have had with one another in the past that I took for granted until it was limited, or until I needed to take a step back from that. So again, kind of longing to sort of create more of a closeness, more of a tenderness with you, than they have up to this point in time, or than you've had kind of consistently in your relationship up to now. They also say, I heard our song, Memories of You, poured over me. So this person may want to take you out dancing, out for dinner and drinks, out for a night on the town, something where they're wanting to kind of change up the pace of how they are leading in this situation, how they are kind of directly or wordlessly encouraging you to follow their lead in this situation. There's a sense of almost like deep respect for you for kind of picking up the slack when they have not been able to be as present, as attentive, as attuned with you in the past, or now as they have been in the past. And so there's a sense of almost like, I want to help to provide you with reassurances that you're not alone in this connection. You're not alone in the sense of, believing that we can become something more to one another and with one another. You're not the only one that senses deep potential or wants something more within this situation. And so there's a sense of wanting to work with you, almost to create some sort of compromise, or again, just provide some sort of reassurance to you that lets you know, even if the circumstances aren't ideal at this particular point in time between the two of you, they do want to rise to the occasion, to move through these challenges into a place where there's the open ability for the two of you to build something more lasting and meaningful with one another. And we also have, I miss you no matter how long it takes. If my heart breaks, I will always love you. Yeah, so again, they're missing your presence, they're missing your energy, they're missing your scent, they're missing the sound of your voice, they're missing almost the ability that they had taken for granted in the past, to kind of just pick up the phone and call you whenever, have time available to spend with you directly one-on-one, or even communicating at a distance in other ways if that's what's necessary based on your current circumstances. There's a sense of they're feeling very lonely in their life at this point in time, even if they have a lot of busyness going on, a lot of people around them, a lot of stress and pressure to perform in other ways. There's a sense that they can't help but sort of like have their thoughts wander to you, have their mind move towards sort of what comes on the other side of this period of stress or pressure or challenge, which is the ability to just relax, maybe even take a vacation with you, spend some time alone with you, rekindle the fire between the two of you that they are sensing and understanding has kind of dimmed a little bit. It's maybe smoldered a bit and is now merely just flickering between the two of you, where at one point in time It was something that was powerful, that was sustained even without much effort on either of your part. And so again, there's a sense of really appreciating how you've held space for them, how you've been patient in this situation, you've been understanding, even if they've been kind of moody or cranky with you, or, just very distant, disconnected, unable to really kind of be with you or talk to you much recently. There's a sense of you're still so welcoming and warm and open when they are able to gravitate towards you. They cherish even the little experiences that you have with one another, quick little text messages, or, times where you've kind of reached out to check in, even if they've not been able to respond necessarily, or, kind of engage with you in sort of a deep and meaningful sense. There's this energy of, I really appreciate the efforts that you make, to make me feel seen, to make me feel important, to continue to like claim your place in their life. And so there's a sense of they want to let you know that all of these efforts on your part have not been in vain, that they want something more in this situation. They want to work as a team to kind of move beyond whatever has been sort of a stumbling, block or kind of an obstacle between the two of you up to this point. They also say our energy is merging. Unity is at hand. Love grows stronger. Yeah, so there's a sense of they want to take things to the next level with you. And maybe this is rekindling that spark between the two of you, spending some quality sensual time with one another. So you can just bask in the joy of one another's presence and one another's being. There's a sense of they don't want to miss out on the opportunity with you. They don't want to lose you. They don't want the distance to continue to multiply between you. They don't want this chasm to grow. They love your presence. They love your energy. They love you, and they want you to become more of a stable part of their life. They want to try to incorporate their life with yours in whatever way is possible. And so it feels like they're looking at you as almost like a silver lining or a light at the end of a very long dark tunnel that they may have been forced to kind of go down. Again, the energies of like pressure with work, stress of a lot of different obligations and duties that they have at this particular point in time, that's kind of making, even if you communicate with them or spend time with them regularly, it's almost like this person may be present in body but their mind is elsewhere. Or they could even just be very exhausted, very run down at this particular point in time. And they just don't have the enthusiasm to kind of show up for you as they feel you deserve, as you are worthy of in connection. And so this can even be somebody that has been, kind of keeping their distance in order to protect the connection, protect you from sort of a lower vibrational version of them that's stressed out, that's, uncertain what the future holds, that is kind of under a lot of pressure to perform at this particular point in time. And there's a sense of, I'd rather make it up to you later, apologize to you later, than subject you unnecessarily to, kind of the result of what happens when I'm pulled in many different directions and sort of lack the energetic or actual resources to see things through to completion in a healthy way, or in a way that gives me any kind of space and time for breathing room. So they're almost looking at you as their home, like the energy of a homecoming, where they will be able to gravitate back towards you, and make up for lost time, make up for, any confusion, any hurt feelings that have happened. They also say, I want to share my darkest fears and deepest desires, but I stop myself in fear that you'll laugh at me. Yeah, so there's that confirmation that they may be protecting this connection at this point in time, knowing that they don't have a very positive energy to bring forth to you, because they're not feeling very positive about whatever's going on in their life at this particular point in time. They may be in the process of making kind of a big move, professionally speaking, or they're experiencing, kind of the aspect of competition with other people. Their focus is sort of outperforming their peers or their competitors in some sort of way. And so when it comes to kind of the tenderness, the softer side of them that you've experienced romantically speaking, it's like they have a hard time stepping into that character at this point, because they're needing to be kind of ruthless. They're needing to be brutal with whatever it is that they are vying for, as far as like professional accolades or some kind of accomplishment. The stress and the pressure to perform, maybe like a lot of eyes are on them. There's a lot riding riding on this period of time for them, in terms of their long-term future, in terms of their ability to provide a proper foundation, a stable foundation for themselves going forward, for whatever the connection develops into between the two of you. There's a sense of this is a critical window of time for them, and they do understand though that it has come at the expense of like the warm and happy experiences between the two of you, and so there's a sense of almost like hoping and praying to themselves that they don't push you away completely, that the damage that's done at this particular point in time in terms of confusion or, feeling very lonely or very hurt by their actions or inactions at this point, they're hoping that it's repairable, that it's something that the two of you can overcome in a long-term sense, that love will win in the end in this circumstance. They also say, I want to give my heart to you. Please be gentle. Yeah, so they do want something more with you. They want a blossoming of love, a rekindling of romance. They want to not just kind of say, hi, I'm back, I'm here. It's, ready for attention. I'm ready to spend time with you. But there's almost a sense of wanting to kind of show you a tenderness inside of them that might not have been revealed up to this particular point in time, but that they're sensing is almost kind of like an olive branch that they could present of sort of like, don't think that whatever has happened right now, this aspect of them that may be kind of detached or withdrawn due to other things going on in their life, that this is just who they are at all times, or the person that you'll have to kind of learn to deal with or learn to live with going forward. And so as they're kind of stepping beyond then that energy of whatever the goals are that they're working towards, whatever this period of time, this like crunch time that they're under, as that comes to a close and comes to a conclusion, they don't just want to resume kind of their normal interactions with you, but it's almost like, I want to invite you in closer to the truth of my heart, to kind of the softer side of who I am, because you've proven yourself, you've proven your loyalty, you've proven your dedication, even in the sense of giving them space and kind of, redirecting your focus elsewhere, not chasing them, not kind of pressuring them to provide explanations. Just being very, accepting of the situation, knowing you're worth enough to understand the value of your energy as a currency, and being mindful about sort of where you are spending that, the ways in which they're not reciprocating. If they've pulled back their energy, likely you have also, pulled back your energy in some sense. And so there's a sense of, they don't want that kind of disconnect to be the tone of your relationship moving forward. They want something more. They want to resume that kind of beauty, that tenderness that you once shared with one another. And so rather than kind of just expecting that to happen naturally the moment they show back up, or that they become more frequent with their conversations, or, are trying to show up in your life in a more direct and consistent manner, there's a sense of almost like, not only do I want to kind of increase the level of our contact with one another, but I want you to be able to sort of see deeper into who I am as a person than I have shown you up to this point in time, because you've proven that you're worthy and deserving of receiving and can appreciate very, very profoundly that aspect of me. They also say, I'm in a flirtatious mood. I want to play and have fun. Yeah, so they may be planning some kind of spontaneous, impromptu date, getaway, even just kind of close time between the two of you. If they've got a lot of stress and pressure from work going on at this point, this may be somebody that just kind of like calls in sick on the fly one day, and you get to spend a day with one another, that might be filled with kind of many magical moments between the two of you, as kind of some breathing room, just so you can catch up with one another, you can touch bases with one another, you can enter into that space of closeness with each other to kind of sustain yourselves, or to increase your ability to have the stamina of things that need to be done very independent of one another. If this is still kind of a period of time where they're not going to be available a whole lot, or they'll be distracted even, under a lot of stress, under a lot of pressure, it feels that they are wanting nevertheless to kind of make some sort of effort, make some sort of gesture towards you, that lets you know that, hey, we'll get through this. We'll get beyond this. This isn't just kind of the new me. This isn't the way that life with me is going to look like at all times. It's just the way that it is right now. So they're looking at you as like the proper teammate, the right person that they want by their side. And they understand your deep emotional needs, and they understand as well that they have not been able to fulfill them recently. And so, for some of you, kind of get ready for this person to, do something very spontaneous, very romantic. They might even just, bring you or send you like a bouquet of flowers, for example, a sweet little note, something that just kind of lets you know, hey, I'm thinking of you, I miss you, I care about you, I love you, I can't wait till we have more time to spend with one another. Something that they know will kind of make your heart sing as sort of a reminder to not forget about the beautiful experiences you've had with one another, and that they're working as hard as they can to get to a place in their life where experiences like that are more frequent or more sustainable once again. So let's get some initials. Can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got I, A, H, N, Y, O, L, H, L, R, N, U, A, M, T, I, J, M, P, and O. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channel letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the selenite. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? And they say your name is following me everywhere. So this person may be getting a lot of signs, synchronicities, confirmations that is encouraging them to continue to move forth with care, with caution, with enthusiasm, with an open mind and an open heart, to explore kind of the subtle aspects of what's possible between the two of you. It feels like they have a lot of emotional satisfaction from you. You are the perfect package of what they are looking for in a person. And now they have been kind of clued in or starting to become aware of more of the spiritual element of this connection as well. There's an aspect of this energy that is beyond anything they've known with other people. You may experience a lot of deja vu with one another. They may be dreaming about you a lot, and kind of feeling that not only is a beautiful and harmonious love story possible between the two of you, but almost like an otherworldly love. You may feel almost like a destined person, kind of like I was meant to meet you at this point in time. We were meant to connect at this time in our lives, or for some of you to reconnect this time in your lives. This could have been like a failure to launch, someone from your past that has resurfaced, a missed opportunity, something that was like unactualized potential, where it almost seemed previously that like the stars are just never going to align for the two of us to be able to have this experience, this chance at love. And then finally something has changed. Maybe this person has worked up the courage to to fight for this connection, to reach out to you. They've followed that instinct and that urge to seek you out, to look you up, to invest in the possibilities of what might happen in a beautiful sense between the two of you. And it's paid off richly. And so they're getting a lot of support from the subtle realms of reality that, kind of might enhance even support from other people in their life that are encouraging them to explore this connection with you further, in a way that they're almost feeling like this could not just lead to long-term happiness for me and for you, but it's a sense of that it almost fulfills some sort of inevitability or like a level of destiny between the two of you. They also say, I am entwined in the thought of finding you one day. Yeah, so there's more of that energy of like a destined connection. This may be somebody you've recently reconnected with that is kind of resurfaced from your past, kind of like a lost love, or someone that you thought, well, maybe it's just not meant to work out for us in this lifetime. And it feels like they've already overcome so many obstacles in order to kind of reach this place in their life where they are open, willing, and available, to participate with you as much as they are able to, as much as they have up to this point. There's a desire for so much more, to explore these kind of intricate facets, the nooks and crannies of the energy between the two of you. There's a sense of that they're looking at this love as like an adventure. It's not just, oh, I found somebody that I'm comfortable with or I'm compatible with, but it feels like there's an adventure in love that is getting ready to take place if they continue to put one foot in front of the other to explore these feelings. They may be thinking about you a lot in between the times when you interact with one another. Really picking apart all those signs and synchronicities, previous experiences that you had with one another that might have been taken for granted that make sense now at this particular point in time, where there's a sense of like everything has aligned perfectly for this opportunity. Even things that they thought previously didn't work out in their favor, romantically speaking, they're seeing now that it has like cleared the way for this essential window of time where the two of you are completely in alignment with one another. And it's filling them with a sense of deep gratitude and also excitement about what the future has to hold between the two of you. They also say, you are my rose. Yeah, so they may have had to kind of traverse a very thorny bush, kind of go through, a lot of trials and tribulations to reach this place within their own spiritual development, within their own kind of evolution of consciousness, in their own kind of emotional readiness, like a sufficient amount of wounds and healing needed to take place away from you or prior to coming into contact with you that has given them a deep appreciation of almost sourness within relationships, disappointment as far as love, that is making the sweetness between the two of you something that they are so deeply grateful for. It's like it was worth every obstacle coming to this place where they are now able to just bask in your energy, bask in this experience of gratitude that like there is not just someone out there for them. There's not just love, but it's almost these layers that keep unfolding between the two of you, and it just keeps getting better and better. It fills them with a sense of solace at having found a treasure that was always meant just for them, that it's taken patience to reach this place within themselves and between the two of you to be able to savor this moment here and now. So there may be a lot of healing that's taking place for this person in terms of like regrets from the past, wounds from the past. They're able to let a lot of that go. The more they spend time with you, the more they are kind of immersed within this connection. It's giving them a lot of gratitude for the present and for all of the beautiful kind of things that can happen between the two of you in the future as well. They also say, just a little more patience, my love, if only time could speed up. Yeah, so it's been a long journey for the two of you to reach this place in your lives, this place within yourself where the timing is right, the stars are aligned, doors of opportunity are opening between the two of you, or you are consciously making the effort to continue to progress beyond fears, beyond hesitations, beyond even like a painful history between the two of you, to give this one more chance to give it the opportunity to have the proper space to kind of just blossom, to step into the energy of thriving in love. This is somebody who's releasing old narratives. They're letting go of the pessimism of the past, of the people that hurt them, wounds that had created like a jadedness or a guardedness as far as love. This is somebody who's deliberately clearing the slate within themselves, emotionally speaking, because they want to show up for you in as fresh of an energy as possible, mindful of the things that have happened to them in their past that have kind of shaped them into the person that they are, for better or worse. But there's a sense of like, I want to give you an aspect of myself that is able to kind of look at the idea of love and romance and partnership between the two of us with an energy of innocence. Loving as if I've never been hurt before, allowing you into my internal landscape, entering into your internal landscape with care, with appreciation, with mindfulness. They also say, I always talk to you, it brings me peace. So yeah, they may talk to you in their mind, a lot of telepathy going on, sort of heart-to-heart communication, even in the times when you are, not with one another, kind of just living your own lives, wrapped up in your own worlds. Again, like signs and synchronicities that keep showing up for them, that are encouraging them to put their faith in this, put their confidence in this, trust that, continuing to take a slow and methodical and consistent approach, and then rush forth in these bursts when they see these windows of opportunity to dive in deeper, to participate with you more fully, that this is actively building a very dynamic connection between the two of you. There's a sense that they want to talk about where they see the connection in the future. They want to let you know more about their feelings. They want to give you detailed information about the effect that you have upon them. They want to express their fears to you so that you're aware of kind of their shortcomings or the things that they're trying to work through in order to be able to show up for you more consistently. They also say, well, this heartache end, this tears me apart. So there may be distance that's a factor between the two of you, or if this is somebody that you're reconnecting with, there could be like you're having to rebuild trust very slowly, showing up on a regular basis, allowing time to be your ally in this sense. As far as like, okay, we keep being present with one another, not just in the times when everything is great and enthusiastic, but really allowing yourselves to be seen during times where you're not feeling your best, or those fears are kind of swarming all around you or within you. It feels like that's a level of this person's love language, is to show you who they are authentically. They want you to know every facet of themselves so that you are well informed as far as what you're getting into, romantically speaking, either who they've evolved into or who they've always been that you just were not aware of before because it was a romance that hadn't bloomed until now. So it's a sense of, it's a painstaking process to kind of ease into very gradually this deepening connection between the two of you, but it's worth the feeling of fear, the feeling of rejection, the feeling of like, well, what if it doesn't last? What if, I'm coming on too strong? What if they don't like the real me? All of these kind of what ifs that are circling around within their mind. These pale in comparison to the signs that are screaming at them externally to continue to just trust in this, push themselves little by little beyond their comfort zone and in the direction of the light of this love. Everything that happens when they take a closer step towards you and are just filled with the sense of peace and warmth and certainty that, like, yes, this is my true north. This is the direction I should be moving in. This is kind of what helps to explain every disappointment, the necessity of it, or how I could kind of use those disappointments to my advantage, because here's the opportunity to participate with someone that brings a level of sweetness and clarity and realness into my life that I've never known before. So they value you incredibly and this connection, and want to do what it takes in order to make sure that your needs are met and appreciated as well. They also say, I want to share the rest of my life with you. I'm ready to build a happy and secure family together. Yeah, so they see long-term potential. They may think that you're the one they're going to marry, that it's been a long journey to come to this point in time with one another, whether this is you have a long history with one another, or it's just been a very arduous road as far as love and loss for them to get to this place of giving love one more chance, opening their heart one more time, taking a leap of faith to trust trust in their heart in kind of expressing themselves to you, or, sitting within the possibilities of this connection, not running away at kind of the intensity of this otherworldly energy, but sitting there with a curious mind, seeking to understand, trusting that this is benevolent, this is something good, this is something very enriching. And every moment that they spend in kind of this optimism, it's increasing the certainty within them that they didn't come this far in their life, or the two of you didn't come this far in your journey with one another to simply miss out on this opportunity, or to walk away if times get challenging. So this is somebody that's in it for the long haul with you. They also say, I want to give you my heart. Please be gentle. So they may be getting ready to make some kind of big declaration to you, ask a very important question, or to let you know in a very clear and meaningful way exactly what you mean to them, exactly how important this connection is. They may bring up past heartbreaks and give you details of circumstances that have only been vague up to this point in time, not to elicit pity from you, but to simply make you aware, to kind of like follow that up with, life hasn't been too easy on me. Love has not been something that I would consider a strong suit within my life so far. And then you walked in, and then you came into my life, and then I found you, or we found our way back to one another. And I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to just give up on this situation. They also say, I see you in my future. I visualize all the awesome things we'll do together. So they may be actively manifesting not just more closeness between the two of you, but this is somebody that wants to help fulfill all of your dreams for the future in general, and really sees that you are a very compatible person as far as what you've shared about goals and aspirations, and your kind of vision of what life will look like for you moving forward, or what you're working on independently. They see that it fits in very well with like their goals, their dreams. There's a sense of, we could create a shared paradise here on earth together. And this is something that I want. This is something that I desire with you. Not just that we, make our connection official, or, we get married, but that we don't just limit ourselves to that's the dream, that's the wish, and then everything else is kind of lukewarm or mediocre from that point forward. This is somebody who's like dreaming bigger than they'd ever allowed themselves to dream for the future, because there's a sense of, you're the right person, you're the right partner to help support them and adequately challenge them to rise to the occasion of really just smashing their goals, of breaking through any kind of boundaries or constraints that have limited them up to this point. Actual boundaries, or even kind of a defeatist attitude within. It's like they feel so empowered with you through your belief in them, through your participation with them, and what that kind of means as far as their role within the situation, or who they are in their life in general, that with you they almost feel like there's nothing that I can't achieve or become or do, and I want to perform that same function for you. I see us as a power couple. I see us as actively building a life that is very satisfying, that's very exciting, that's very fulfilling to the two of us. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got F, X, T, R, F, G, C, B, Y, S, D, T, P, U, A, J, C, R, L, M, B, P, N, and W. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the purple fluorite. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? And we have, I remember you. So this person may be going through like an ascension right now, and they may be getting a lot of downloads as far as past lives you shared with one another, or even reminiscing a lot on a lot of mistakes that they've made in their life or in love, kind of like dark night of the soul energy. And you are a reminder that things will get better, that there's still an opportunity, there's still time to create a beautiful future for themselves if they sit with themselves through this process, if they are patient, if they reach out to others who have, spiritual knowledge and expertise, or maybe even they're getting ready to kind of open up to you about some of the experiences that they've been having, so that they give you the opportunity to be the shoulder that they can cry upon. This may be somebody who comes across as very calm, cool, and collected, and they have a hard time asking for help, showing vulnerability, openly expressing their emotions, which they may have been conditioned to be kind of a marker of weakness in some sort of way, to feel anything deeply. And yet they are overcome at this particular point in time by the sense of almost the connection between the two of you's like activated something within them, or wherever they're at in kind of their life or their own journey, or maybe something has happened recently to them, or has been kind of building for quite some time, where they're starting to shift their perception of self, their priorities in life, kind of the asking bigger questions about like, what's the meaning of my life? What am I doing with my life? Do I actually enjoy the life I've built for myself? Or am I just going through the motions of what other people have expected of me? And if I'm not satisfied, what, if anything, can I do to make healthy and responsible choices in a better direction? They may be very inspired by your living example, or ways in which you've taken your power back from limiting beliefs or cycles that you were stuck in that were, keeping you from kind of living up to your fullest potential, or, were sort of draining you energetically or actually. And they've started to kind of look around at their own reality and question where there can be kind of changes for the better that could be made, which it feels like has always almost created this like domino effect for them. They started looking deeply within themselves, and it's kind of like into the rabbit hole they went. Answers led to more questions, led to a sense of maybe seeing patterns at play in their life, or understanding the nature of like a tendency to self-sabotage, or where they've sold themselves short up to this point in time, to where it's like they're navigating through some heavy sorts of energies, but reaching for you as kind of someone who could understand maybe what they're going through, or somebody that represents kind of this higher timeline that they are wanting to strive for themselves. We also say, you are healing my soul, but it is a work in progress. Yeah, so this person is getting ready to make some pretty big changes in their life, or they've already been starting to kind of work on some things behind the scenes that are inspired by your living example, things you talk about, things you're interested in, things that you've shared with them or that you've confided. And this has encouraged them to no longer cut corners with themselves, no longer settle, no longer kind of put off to tomorrow what they could be taking care of today. And with this is a sense of like liberation for them, but then it's also heaviness. The idea of like how long certain cycles have persisted, how much kind of wounding there is to address once they've actually started to look at that. And so it feels like if they're kind of showing you a confused energy at this particular point in time, or it's kind of back and forth, or you can sense something is going on with them that they might be on the brink of like sharing, or they've alluded to, or they've hinted at in some way. They may be getting ready to like open up to you or confide in you in a way that it feels like is going to help to build the connection, in terms of like honoring vulnerability as a key component to like the well-roundedness of what's possible. Not just we like being with one another when the times are good and everybody's on their A game, but we can hold space for one another, or I trust you enough as a person in alignment with my highest good to see, to bear witness to hold space for me through a period of shedding a version of self and consciously rebirthing or evolving into someone that they've never been before. You also say the kindness in your heart is so beautiful. So any kind of words of encouragement, any compliments that you've given to them, they've taken that to heart, and it feels like it's mattered to them more than you realize. Your belief in them, your belief in the connection, that is something that is very important. They cherish you. You are a very precious person to them. You matter more than you think to this individual. Your opinion of them matters. In many ways, they are trying to emulate kind of the curiosity and the inclination to kind of find ways to make the best out of even the most inopportune circumstances. This has changed fundamentally how they're looking at themselves, the world around them, and the life that they are actively and presently living. It's like you've inspired them to start to reframe how they're moving through the world in general. You by virtue of being yourself, have almost given this person permission to take off the masks, to stop with the conventionality of how they've been conditioned to kind of live their life, and to become more curious about, who am I at this point forward? Who do I want to be in a long-term sense? And what can I do in order to bridge the gap between those two identities, so that I'm not just going in circles in my life, filling my, knapsack with regrets, and time passes and yet nothing is different other than I'm older. This is somebody who's wanting to step beyond those boundaries, wanting to step beyond just the taking the easy way in life, settling into less than they deserve. This is somebody who wants more for themselves now, because you've taken certain leaps of faith. You've been through trials and tribulations, and you've come out the other side of, even what might have been a very rough journey for you. You make healing look absolutely magnificent. They want that for themselves, and they understand that it's accomplished through hard work, the hard work of facing oneself and being totally honest with what's really working and what is not serving, or is just completely broken, that needs to be discarded, needs to be repaired, needs to be stepped away from. And it's a sense of, with you by my side, if I have nobody else, if everybody else doubts me, if everybody else abandons or leaves me, as long as I have your confidence in me as an individual, as long as we are aligning, as long as there are moments where we're seeing to eye, even in the midst of not understanding one another at points in time, then I feel I can rise to the occasion of the challenges that this growth phase is requiring of me. And so for that, it feels like they deeply cherish that impact, or that inspiration that you've served as in their life. And they say, before we can truly unite, our spirit and soul needs to overflow with self-love. Yeah, so this is somebody who, they are keeping your connection, the long-term future with you in mind, as they, maybe make some tough decisions, set some boundaries with individuals who have been benefiting from their brokenness, who have been discouraging their growth and evolution, who are reflections of a version of themselves or a lifestyle that isn't getting them anywhere. It's just keeping them stuck, that they're maybe needing to close the door to certain relationships, take a step back, or cut people off entirely, make healthier choices for themselves, kind of work on that internal dialogue, silence the inner critic, or start to kind of take those criticisms as a form of kind of helpful suggestion that they can actually apply and make changes in a better and different direction than how they've been responding to such things up to this point. So it's a lot of internal work that this person, it feels like is investing at this point, because they want to be able to match your energy. They want to be able to keep the pace with you as far as the ways in which you set your standards high. You hold yourself to a very high standard. You're not in the energy right now of settling for anything, and this is very attractive to this person and very empowering and encouraging for them as well. They'll say, you are a part of me. I want you to know I love you more than words can say. So it feels like there's a degree of frustration going on within them at this point, because there's a sense of, I love you just sounds like such a shallow phrase. What they have accessed inside of themselves, and maybe this is through this path of self-love that they are now consciously and actively maneuvering their way across. There's a sense of almost like I meet deeper layers of myself, and I'm brought to this realization that I have an even greater capacity to exchange authentic love with you. There's so much that they want to say that they don't know how to put to words. So this may be somebody who's like meditating a lot and like connecting with your energy, astral projecting towards you, consciously trying to engage in telepathy with you, to just kind of send these vibrations, to exchange in that way that transcends language, it transcends understanding. It speaks to kind of the core of like a soul frequency that they see and sense and understand that you share with one another, that is good, that is true, that is pure, that is high vibrational, that is a light in the midst of whatever darkness they're going through at this point. They also say true love begins where you feel it inside you, raising self-worth. Yeah, so more confirmation of somebody who is getting ready to cut some things out of their life, or they've already started to make better choices. They're more mindful of the company that they keep, of the narrative that they are telling themselves. They're changing their lifestyle. They're becoming more concerned with like health, wellness, mental health, mental wellness, spiritual health, and spiritual fulfillment, starting to really look around and say, what are the changes that I can actively make in my life to not just be a victim of my circumstances, or to continue to feed into kind of a life that I had built for myself that was a reflection of like more of an unconscious version of myself. How can I align my steps towards the future to evolve, not just as a person, but to really up level my life in healthy and productive ways, so that what I bring to the table is something that contributes to kind of the infinite growth possibilities between the two of us, romantically speaking. So it's somebody who's like working on themselves for themselves, but they are definitely also thinking of you kind of like, this is an investment in our long-term future as well. This is not just a gift to myself to make these changes, but I'm becoming a better person so that I can show up for you in a better way, because you deserve nothing but the best. They also say, I'm so in tune with you empathically. I can feel your happy or sad tears. So they may consider that you are their soulmate, you are their twin flame, you are somebody that fits the vibration of their future. You are not a reflection of their broken past. The more that they kind of go through these periods of light and shadow inside themselves, they keep kind of feeling the constancy of your energy. You're like their closest companion, even though there may be a lot that is unsaid between the two of you. It's like you're in this together. Whatever is kind of happening with you and your life in this kind of like chapter or phase that you're within, even if it looks very different on the surface, kind of the things that you're working on as compared to what's going on with them, or what they're kind of tasked with sort of addressing at this point, it's like the vibration is the same. You're up leveling, you're in tune with one another, you're not just walking parallel paths. It's like one unified road that has been segmented out in kind of the individualized experiences of the two of you, but they see these kind of reminders that it's just the more they come home to themselves, the more they come to a place of closeness, or really being able to appreciate even the fullness of what you have to offer in love. They also say, I'm in a flirtatious mood. I want to play and have fun. So if they've been going through like dark night of the soul, a lot of heaviness, a lot of confusion, a lot of big changes that they've made, they may want to let you know some of these things kind of come out of the cave, come out of the hermit mode and celebrate, share some good news with you, things that you might have thought, oh, they're never gonna cut that person off, they're never gonna change this about themselves, or you might have just kind of had to learn to accept certain things about this person, or you might have even questioned with yourself, like, I don't know how this is gonna work between the two of us, how this is really gonna fit in with the way I'm living my life, or where I'm at in my own kind of journey and my own process. You might have even thought, well, maybe I need to not invest too much hope within this individual because I'm prepared to outpace them. I've outpaced other people. No one's been able to keep up as far as, the willingness to look at oneself or the determination to kind of consciously make changes. Nobody wants to do that heavy lifting. People are only in it with me for the good times. And the second that it gets real, people leave. That might have been kind of your attitude, or something that you'd sort of told yourself when encountering this person, as a way to kind of lead in a logical sense, rather than kind of, falling back into old patterns that you may have worked to get through, as far as, kind of just letting the heart orchestrate all of your kind of participation with others, and ignoring red flags, or, moving too quickly, too soon, whatever it is that looks like. And so there's a sense of like, they're getting ready to kind of prove you wrong in some sort of way. You may have to like eat your words in terms of a change, or like a version of themselves, something that's getting ready to be presented that you're like, I never thought this would happen. I never thought that they were capable of this. I didn't think they had it in them. You might have like sensed the potential, but you're at a point in your journey of like, I'm not going to fall in love with people's potential. I'm going to be mindful of kind of the possibilities, but also very aware of the actuality of what I'm dealing with. And so it feels like that what if, that kind of possibility, it's getting ready to be demonstrated to you in terms of some massive step up in terms of how this person is showing up for you, showing up within the connection, things that they may open up about, or reveal, or share with you, or demonstrate, as far as like, oh yeah, I stopped doing this thing, or I cut these people out, or I'm seeking this for myself now, or I've decided to discontinue this other thing. Whatever it looks like, it feels like it's going to give you some sort of encouragement that like, you're not just dealing with a static person. Change is hard for all human beings, but it feels like this is somebody who is trying with as much enthusiasm as possible to not just wait for tower moments to happen to them, but it's almost like, okay, I know that nothing changes if nothing changes, and sometimes the universe makes us change the hard way. So I would rather be conscientious about kind of evaluating myself and taking proactive steps in a better direction. And like, that's where they're at in terms of their journey, in terms of their personal growth polarity. And it feels like it'll align very, very beautifully with like where you're at, or where your sights are focused. They also say, I'm working hard on myself. I want you to be proud of me. Yeah, so another confirmation that this person's getting ready to reveal something to you that may be almost like a miraculous change. It may provide you with a lot of peace of mind, a lot of encouragement that like, okay, there is hope within this situation. This is not just a seasonal person. This is not a connection that inevitably will have an expiration date, or I should only kind of hold in a space of understanding that, it could just be another temporary person in my life and in my reality. Something that they're getting ready to show you is not just sort of like, I've done this for you, but it's like they've made changes, or they're shifting their focus in a direction of like self-improvement in a way that is very honest, very sustainable, very like realistic, very like serious changes that they're making. But then it feels like they're also going to include in kind of this demonstration, or whatever it is they share with you, of kind of like, you're a motivation. I don't want to miss out on this opportunity with you. I don't want to be somebody who stagnates or remains in the stagnated energy. And you're so dynamic within your growth. You're so open and trusting with what your intuition, with what your spirit guides, with what kind of life is sort of pushing you in the direction of doing. I want to be on that same wavelength with you. I want to experience this adventure of love with you. So let's get some initials. Can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got M, P, N, I, Q, G, K, S, F, H, M, A, C, O, C, V, V, F, and E. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.